Okay, guys, so today I wanted to talk about guilds and why joining a guild may be a good thing for you as a new player or as you progress through the stages of your game. So guilds, you'll be receiving a contract. Let's go over contracts really quickly here. So you'll receive something like this from whoever is trying to recruit you, or if you ask in chat or you ask in the forums, or you see someone recruiting, you may talk to them, say, hey, I'm interested in joining. They usually have a little blurb about what the guild has to offer for you, what they expect from you and stuff like that. You'll get this little contract. It's a little intimidating sometimes because it's not really a common thing. Joining guilds is pretty straightforward in most MMOs, but here you just have this little contract thing that may be a little confusing. You'll see your daily pay here, your penalty. This is if you leave the guild, this is how much you'd have to pay, and the term of your contract. So how many days this contract will be valid for. So the days and the money you get are dependent on a lot of things. For example, when you start out, let's see if I can find a new player. Let's just take this contract. Usually most people nowadays will give you a 365-day contract that will be 365k silver per day for you. And the way you increase that pay is by getting 10k activity points. The way you get activity points is by doing anything in the game. Guild missions is a big way to increase it, but leveling, doing quests, killing things, leveling professions, anything that will increase your character stats in some way or another will increase and give you a little bit of activity points. So the main way you get activity points though is by doing guild missions. So guild missions are missions that can be activated only by officers or the GM. You can see the different types of missions that we have here. We have combat, life, and trading. Forget about trading. No one really does these. So don't worry about too much about that. Life and combat. So combat is for grinding and life is for usually fishing or logging, those types of activities. They're okay. I know most guilds nowadays are serious about making money, do want their members to do SMH guild missions because they're the best for the guild and for the person as well. So the way these work is you see what type of mission you have. Mission objective, defeat Calphian Shrine enemy, 2,500 of these, and you have 2.5 hours to complete this. So if the officer activates this on Valencia 6, which is where we are right now, that means you have to be on Valencia 6 to do the quest. You cannot kill these Calphian Shrine enemy in Valencia 5, for example, and think that you're going to get credit. You won't. You have to be on the channel that the mission was popped on. You have 2.5 hours to complete it. If you do it within that time limit, you can tell the officer or whoever that you're done with it, and they can hand in the mission, and then you can then go to collect wage and get paid for doing that mission. How much you get paid is dependent on the mission. So for example, we can take a look at this reward for doing this mission. The silver reward is 9 million. This is what the guild gets. And some seals and stuff like this. You don't really worry about that. So 9 mil silver is what the guild gets. So once you complete it, say you soloed this whole thing. You did the mission. You didn't have any help from anyone else, and your officer completes it. The guild gets 9 million, and now you can go to collect wage, and you will have half of what the reward was. So 4.5 mil will be there for you to collect. It takes it from the guild funds, so keep that in mind. Some people like to rack up collect wages until like it's 1 billion and take it out. I wouldn't suggest that. Always collect your money as soon as you can so that the guild knows how much actual funds they have, and they don't have to worry about finances. And let's see what else I wanted to go over. Right, so it's based on activity. So if you're not the only one actually doing this quest, say 3 more people are helping you out, depending on how many you kill, the reward will be divvied up. So 4.5 mil of this will be divided amongst the 3 of you. Okay, so you don't always get 4.5 mil. Only if you do it yourself, you get the most amount of money. There's a bunch of different missions you can do. There's subjugation, which is this kill stuff. There's boss subjugation, which is kill some enemies to receive a guild summon scroll. These are okay to do. They're really not worth the guild mission slot because there is a limit of 10 a day. These reset at reset every day, so keep that in mind. Some guild missions will obviously be more favored than others, so make sure you're not asking for a boss subjugation quest if you really mean to do like a subjugation quest, because you won't get paid for a boss subjugation quest. Keep that in mind. There's different sizes depending on the size of your guild. I have an extra large guild, so we see extra large missions. We see medium size, large size, sometimes small, but mostly it's now extra large, medium, stuff like that. And the missions that you see are channel bound. So if you're in Valencia 6, you see these missions. These are for Valencia 6. If you go to Valencia 5, they will look different. And that's why sometimes you can ask around your guildies to ask, okay, is anyone seeing, for example, a Shira Ruins quest somewhere? I want to do Shira Ruins. If anyone can tell me what channel and to please activate it, that would be appreciated. That's something you can do. And that's pretty much guild missions in a nutshell. In terms of guild buffs, guild skills, when you join a guild, you will get all of these things if they have the buffs already invested. So for example, this guild, you would get accuracy rate plus 5%, AP plus 5, max HP plus 100, damage reduction plus 5, evasion rate plus 5%. And you'd get gathering plus 3 and fishing level plus 3. So this will be active as long as your contract is good. If your contract expires, so if your contract expires, it will look like this. It's a blue icon. You can then say, hi, my contract has expired. Can someone renew me, please? And then they will give you a renewal of contract, which is just to help you get the buffs again. As long as you're in the guild, you'll get these buffs. As soon as you leave, you'll lose them. So keep that in mind. In terms of guild skills, nothing really to talk about here. There are some buffs like life skill XP plus 20% for an hour that an officer or the GM can pop every 5 hours. So you can ask for that as well. Combat XP and skill XP also works as well. These are node war buffs. So if you do node wars, you want to be having these. These are for guild house stuff and storage. So if your guild is needing to build a ship or whatever, like we're doing here, guild crafting requires a guild house. So let's go over guild house really quickly here. So each major town has a guild house that you can bid on. So this is our guild house. We bought it. Well, we won it in a bid, and we're using it to create the blue parts for the galley. The galley is a guild ship, just so you know. And the way that works is you go to an NPC every, I believe, Monday or every late Sunday, every 2 weeks or so. They will have a bid for the guild house, and it will be half of what the winning bid for the last win will be. So for us, it was around 500 to 800 mil that we bid, and that was enough to win the guild house. So now winning the guild house, what does that do? That means it takes 500 mil of our funds to win the bid, and then every day we pay a percentage of the winning bid for having the guild house for 2 weeks. You have the guild house for 2 weeks. That's why you should be pretty adamant about having people help trying to build whatever it is you're trying to build. And once you have the materials you need, for example, you can say start crafting, and once it's done, you can say complete, and then you'll get the product. That's pretty much it. I'm not going to go way too into it, but yeah, it's a pain in the butt, to be honest, to gather some of the materials for these things, but it's the only way to get these blue parts for the guild galley, and the other one would be for the elephant. If you want to do node wars, you want a higher tier elephant, and that's the only way to get it. Let's go over some other things. So guild member status, it will show you your overall guild activity through your history and how much current activity you have. So maxed is 10K. Once you hit 10K, you can continue gaining activity through your max activity. So just because you're at 10K doesn't mean that you should stop, or you think you're not getting points. You're still getting points. It's just not contributing to your renewal. So for example, I'm already at max pay, which is 5 mil. There's no point to renew my contract unless it's expiring. So why I just stick it at 10 mil, and I can still gain activity points because it just doesn't matter. The only reason this would matter is to let someone know, okay, so I can renew you and give you double pay of what you currently have. Guild alliance is when two or more guilds ally up in a sort of official capacity where you have an alliance name, and that way through node wars you have more of a strength and are able to contest higher tier nodes. At least that's the point of doing these kind of things. If you're, for example, your guild is 70 something people, but only like 20 something people show up in node wars, and you feel like you need more members, you can then have an alliance with someone else and have like 20 of their members show up during node wars times, and have a higher chance of succeeding through node wars. And once you win a node, you'll have occupying whatever node you are occupying, and you get whatever money it was worth for winning the node. That's pretty much node wars in a nutshell. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Take care.